On December 20th, 1941, a select few would be the first to witness a short-lived internet phenomenon that would occur 80 years later. In one of the Merry Melodies series of cartoons, the primary series for Looney Tunes at the time, a short called The Wabbit Troubles gave birth to one of the most iconic memes in recent years, Big Chungus. Nothing has quite captured our imagination on the internet quite like Big Chungus. This big fat fucking idiot has made people wheeze, cry, shit, piss, and vomit all over themselves. But why? What is so captivating about fat Bugs Bunny? Well, I have a theory. Big Chungus was a low period for the seminal cartoon character Bugs Bunny, created by Chuck Jones and others. The sad truth is that Big Chungus was meant to show that Bugs Bunny had debilitating body dysmorphia. Chuck Jones showcased this tragedy through dramatic irony and humor. The creators couldn't anticipate its social outreach nearly 80 years later and what it means for contemporary sociology. Big Chungus is a representation of reflecting on our own personal grievances with our own body and self-image. In the short, Bugs Bunny wants to show empathy for his adversary in this predicament, which is Elmer Fudd. No, that's dumb as shit. Let's analyze something way more important. What is the body mass index of Big Chungus? In order to figure this out, we need to have a fundamental understanding of what and how we measure body mass index. Body mass index is a rough estimator of how healthy someone is with their mass and their structure, but is often up for debate. The scale works like this. Underweight is under 18, normal weight is 18 to 24, overweight is 25 to 30, and obesity is 30 or greater. You can see that the scale might be inaccurate in how we view how healthy weight works. For instance, bodybuilders that are 5'10 are usually about 205 pounds or above, meaning that they are overweight. However, bodybuilders who are mostly natural are the healthiest people in the world. And that's just talking bodybuilders, not strongmen or Olympic weightlifters. So let's consider that Elmer Fudd is canonically only 3 feet 5 inches, also known as manlet prime. There is no weight listed for him canonically, except this statistic that Google gives me. I'd be hard-pressed to believe this fan-created statistic if it was Elmer Fudd's more well-known design. However, Elmer Fudd's design here is totally indicative of this weight calculation. Look how bulbous this man is, and I'm being generous with believing that he's even 224 pounds. Just look at that giant goddamn peach. If we are to operate under this assumption, Elmer Fudd's body mass index is 93.7. Elmer Fudd should be fucking dead. Just look at this absolute unit. He can move around nimbly and well for a man of his stature. I don't care if it's a cartoon. This man is a death tank. He's Killdozer, but in cartoon form. So what does this really mean for Big Chungus? Well, let's use Elmer Fudd as reference. Bugs Bunny is canonically 3 feet 3 inches tall, and his weight is unknown. Using deductive reasoning and Google, but mostly Google, we can find out that Bugs Bunny is a scrub hair and may also be considered an adult in his lifespan. This means that Bugs Bunny is roughly about 9 pounds. However, when Bugs transforms into Big Chungus, we have to take into account that Bugs Bunny is adopting physical traits from Elmer Fudd. With that in mind, we need to combine Elmer Fudd's weight with Bugs Bunny's new eldritch form. Given the aforementioned information I provided, we can determine that Big Chungus is about 235 pounds. Before we can calculate the BMI of the BBC, we first need to figure out the height difference from this and Bugs Bunny. This might be a ridiculous detail to consider since it seems negligible, but looking side by side before the transformation, I'm willing to wager that Bugs Bunny loses about an inch, bringing him down to 3'2". I made sure this was accurate by using the most accurate scientific form of measurement, which is determining that Big Chungus is equal to 1 whole Israel. That's right, just 1 whole Israel. Now that we have all the data, we need to get that big number. Let's see what it comes out to.
Criminal.
After much deliberation, I've come to this conclusion. This research was not in defiance of God or man's lust for knowledge, but to search for meaning in our alienated lives. Now that we have this information, we must bear the burden of its truth and overcome the grief ahead. We now know, without a shadow of a doubt, that there is in fact a being capable of killing God. Ladies and gentlemen, Big Chungus's BMI is 114.4. Bugs Bunny could only hold on to this form for mere seconds before receding into his weakly mortal, pathetic husk. Little did he know his power was too great. For this monstrosity of a creation, God will now punish mankind for the rest of our species' existence. This is as cataclysmic as Eve eating the apple from the tree of knowledge. Or it's, just really dumb meme analysis that doesn't really do anything to further discussion or discourse. Yeah, that's how I'm ending this video. Fuck you.